Alright, welcome everyone. We are playing Europa Universalist 4, and this is our National Revolt in Portugal. Alright, so National Revolts, you have two options. You can put them down, which increases the Unrest, or you can appease them, which makes a lot of local autonomy, 25%. Alright, so do we want to go with the autonomy? Not so much, because it's going to reduce how much trade and taxes we can apply against those provinces, and since it's in the heart of our territory here, Portugal, we're going to want to put it down. Alright, to show you that I'm not save scrumming or anything, I'm going to go ahead and put it down, and I'll push the escape here. I'm actually playing Iron Man mode, so this is dangerous for me. I could lose quite a bit of my nation here if it gets out of hand. So I can save in Iron Man mode, but I can never load because it's, again, Iron Man mode. You can only load from your current place, and that's done at the main screen. So now our impact, if we look at the local autonomy, we're going to see that some of the areas are now in red. And if I look at Portugal, here we are in the areas where it was impacted. Now, if it gets out of hand, I could always increase the autonomy. And that's going to increase it by 25 in order to reduce the local unrest by 10. But as you remember, I increased the local unrest by 20. Yeah, so I'll lose out in that exchange if I go ahead and turn tail and run. So no riots just yet, but if I look at the Spanish particulates, they want to increase the autonomy, and it's not just against the ones that are in Portugal rioting. Alright, so because I didn't go with the option to gain 25 autonomy, now it's 30. And I will also lose 20 prestige, and it's not just against the Portugal provinces, it's against pretty much the entire nation of Spain. Alright, so I do not want to appease them. If they break out, it's going to be 43k troops, and it's also going to, I can't even see well, it's going to impact all these different provinces, but the only provinces that are currently upset are marked here: Lisbonia, Beria, Cote Verdes. So if I keep my troops on hand, I shouldn't be in too much trouble. But since it is a 43k, I've got a 2-star general who's got a pretty high shock value. You can see fire is 4. It's not shock, it's fire. Fire is 4, shock is 1, maneuver is 4, so it's pretty decent general to keep back here. And I'm fighting off the French quite a bit, so let me go ahead and add a castle. Alright, so I can't yet get to the 3rd tier castle. I'm going to go with the 2nd tier one, Fort level 4. And it's going to take a little while to build that, but we'll go ahead and do that. And we colonized Cyan, so that gave us a nice little boost. Alright, so we just kind of waited out and monitor provincial unrest. It looks like it's going to be, I can't even tell the, there's so much going on up there and the screen is flooded, I can't even see how quickly it's growing. But I'll give it a month or two and see if it's bumped up a bit. Oh nice, we just got 20 prestige just from quality ivory. Alright, so letting it go one more month. I'll go into take another peek at January, speeded it up. And hopefully we don't take any impact. But if I were to hover over the unrest, we can see, oh, what's going on here? Truce expired, native rising, nothing important here. Just a humiliated rival of France. Alright, so if I hover over the unrest, I can see it's at 7.7 now. The base is at 1950 and it's dropping. So because of that mission or event that came up, and I chose to go with the Revolt rather than trying to appease them, now that base of 20 is dropping slowly. So all I got to do is wait out that Revolt. And another thing you can do when you take a look at the little top left here, production interface, you click on that and we go to the local autonomy. This lets you see all the autonomy for your own colonies. You zoom in here and we can see which ones are green, which ones are red. It looks like everything over here is fine. And we can zoom in right here on the green color. These guys are in the 7s pretty much. Alright, so since I know that's the problem area, I can go ahead and take my troops and march them down over there. You'll notice that maximum provincial unrest reduction is 5. If I were to split that troop, now it's 3.25. And this one here is 3.5. So by splitting the troops, you can actually spread it out across your provinces, and you'll get a higher bonus. If I split this again, I get 1.5, so I can cover more territory. And what that will do is when I look at the unrest, it's now at 10%, and it quickly, for a moment, showed me that it's a 22.7 chance to increase. And so that every month there's a 23% chance that it'll increase by 10%. So I'm going to want to try to cover as many of these territories as I can. Beria, I've got the largest army there, that's why it's only a 3. But you can see in the other territories it's at a 5. So let's go ahead and split this army, and then we'll spread them out. When it gets close to time of the revolt, I'm going to want to join the army back into a single stack, or at least as whatever the province can support, because when they're separated, if they run into a 43k army, it's going to flatten them. But yeah, so that's just some tips to prevent against revolts. You can, if the last ditch efforts, right, you can take a look at it. You can increase your stability. I've got a 3, so that helps. By having 0 war exhaustion, that also helps. You don't want to have too much overextension, otherwise that will give you penalties against your the happiness of the provinces. But you can find you also have some options here. You can accept their demands, which is horrible action right now, because that'll get rid of the army that's coming after me. But it'll increase the autonomy drastically, and it'll reduce absolutism, as well as I'll lose 20 prestige. I've already at max stability. I cannot perform the harsh treatment. The uprising progress must be at least 30% base from rebel size. So when it rises up, it's currently at like 10%. When it rises up to 30%, I'll be able to reduce it by using harsh treatment, and that's going to cost me, it looks like, 200 of my war points. And then it has some options to core different locations in order to reduce the impact. Alright, well, I hope that's been helpful to you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time on EU4.